Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. This is part 2 of the Biolite Campstove 2. Today we're going to do a boil test with the kettle that came in the bundle package that I got for my birthday, as I said in the last episode. Right, so we're going to use my iPhone, obviously, as a timer. We're going to put it on now. Hope you could see that. But I just started it. Okay, you can't see that. Alright, good. It's a little crooked, don't worry. Falls off or attempts to fall off, I'll catch it. So anyway, their claim to fame with boiling is 4 minutes. And it's boiling a liter of water in the kettle. Now the kettle, I like this thing too. Have I ever really timed it? No. I'm timing it for the first time with you guys. So the kettle is fairly light. It's ultra thin stainless steel. You can make coffee or whatever meal you want to make in it. When you pack it together, which I'll show you what it looks like all packed together now, as you can see, the stove, the onboard battery pack goes in the stove goes in the kettle. All right, so that's pretty good. The downside to it is it's big and it's bulky and it takes up a lot of room. The weight on the kettle pot itself is only 16 ounces. The price for the kettle pot alone is $50. You get a max of 1 liter, and it serves anywhere between 2 to 4 people. Like I said, this is pretty. It's a pretty cool device or kettle, but it's bulky. So if I'm doing a bushcraft weekend or something like that, I am obviously not taking this with me. But I would take this with me if I had my wife and kids along. All right. So we're 2 minutes in, and I see bubbles at the bottom. All right, so this is a good device. The downside to the kettle, which you don't get with the grill, is that you have to take the pot off to add fuel to it. Whereas the grill has a port that you open, and you can throw the fuel inside there, right? So now we're at 2 minutes and 35 seconds. I'm not going to bore you with my talking. I'm going to speed it up a little and get us to the end. Stay tuned. Okay, we are at 4 minutes, and as you saw about 10 seconds ago, I had to add more fuel into it. Like I said, that's the only downside to it. So now we're at 4 minutes and 12 seconds. We are at 5 minutes now, and still no boil. Okay guys, so my camera died. I had the Canon G7X Mark II. Battery's pretty, when you use the video, the battery drains up pretty fast on that camera. Wasn't even aware of that. But now I know, so I'll pack 2 or 3 batteries next time. Anyway, now I'm using my phone, right? hence the angle. So we are well into 10 minutes now, and still not boiling because I had to add a lot of fuel to it. So the other thing about the fan, guys, I didn't mention in the last video. Of course, the higher you put the fan on, the more fuel you're going to run through. So you have to keep that in mind, all right? And you have to constantly check and drop fuel in when you're trying to boil it. So if you stayed on top of it, you might get it in probably 10 minutes. I mean, the 4-minute mark didn't work. I had my fuel set up, and it just never got there. So anyway, the water's hot now, at the very least. So it's still a good tool to bring with you, especially if you're not an avid outdoors person. This is something good to have. You want to get a meal going quickly, especially if you're going to use the grill, which that'll be my next video. I'll probably release that in a week or two. You'll see the video on that. You can get a good meal going. As far as using the kettle pot, again, it all depends on how much water you're using and how much you put in. Obviously, a liter of water is going to take a while, but you can still cook on it. And if you're looking to heat up like a stew of some kind, that's even better, right? Once you get it hot or the temperature you like, you pull it off and you start eating. You don't have to get it to a rolling boil like you would with water. So I did fetch this water out of a stream. Of course, before I drink that, I would definitely boil it. All right, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You could follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Google+. You can also listen to me on podcasts now, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or Podbean. I will see you guys next week. And hopefully by then, the water will be boiling. All right, guys? See you soon. Okay, guys, there was my problem. The condensation at the bottom, I didn't have the heat and fire up high enough to dry off the condensation as it was boiling. So the condensation dripped onto the wood inside, which was dry wood, and it pretty much put the fire out. So it was my fault, not the Biolites.